In this video, I won't be talking about speed, image quality, or printing costs. Instead, I will focus on real usability between the HP T2500 eMFP and the Canon iPF 765 M40. The first thing I compared was the overall footprint of the devices. Both of the printers seemed compact, however, the HP was not as deep as the Canon as the stacker is on top. But the Canon's extended stacker makes it 16.5 square feet versus 13.8 square feet, resulting in an increase of floor space of 19%. In any office environment, cabling is a major problem with wires everywhere, which is both unsightly and difficult to manage. The HP, being a truly integrated MFP, required only 2 cables versus 9 for Canon, meaning the HP was the better and easier option to set up. Both printers include a stacking solution, although I would say the Canon is just a catch basket with no real control over the prints. The T2500 eMFP holds up to 50D or A1 sized prints, whereas the Canon only held around 20 without issues. Finding your prints on the HP was easy, as the prints were delivered in order to the stacker with no complications caused by media curling, especially towards the end of a roll. I also found issues with the Canon when mixing output sizes and prints with higher ink densities, with some starting to curl, bend, or even drop to the floor. It was also uncomfortable to bend down to find prints with the Canon compared to the HP stacker. At first glance on the specs, it seemed the Canon had the HP beaten, but after doing a real comparison between the two, I discovered the Canon scanner only had the edge on high-end scanning needs. Only HP had an automatic built-in de-skew feature, which meant that scans were automatically corrected by the software even in the most extreme cases. With Canon, the user needs to correct the skew on screen, which is slow, so less productive. Where the HP blew me away was its e-enabled features for scanning directly to a USB device, to a network folder, or the cloud with full control and previews right on the touchscreen. These options were notably uncomfortable to use on the Canon, with the USB port not easy to find, being below the monitor. These important features were hidden in the scan menu under the Advanced button. I also discovered you had to set up a third-party email client on the PC for scan to email to work. HP printers have an automatic firmware update process to keep the printer up to date versus a lengthy and cumbersome update with the Canon, involving downloading the firmware and then also a tool to upload it to the printer, all done manually. To top it all, HP was the only one with a great app to retrieve stored jobs and print remotely from smartphones or tablets, making it a true e-printer, compared to the Canon, where you could only print through the print driver. The front panel or touch screen from both manufacturers offered the same basic functionality. However, the HP was far superior in terms of being a true touchscreen experience, much like my smartphone or tablet, and included full color print previews of jobs, as well as printing from a USB stick right next to the touchscreen. Today's printers have embedded web servers built in to manage the printer functionality remotely and in more detail than the front panel. So I compared both the Canon and HP embedded web servers for basic features. Security is key in many companies today, so the ability to erase temporary files from the printer's hard disk should be simple and controllable. This was available from the HP embedded web server, but only from the front panel on the Canon, and only as a full disk erase. Locking the control panel to stop unauthorized changes is very useful to stop people from tampering with things like the network setup. On the HP, this can be set with the embedded web server, but no such option is available on the Canon, leaving it vulnerable. Lastly, I looked at built-in accounting features which the HP had in abundance. You can see exactly how much each print has cost for all your customers or projects, and you can have the printer email this information periodically via an XML file to keep track of costs. Added to this was the printer's ability to send alert messages when ink or media is running low or when user intervention is needed. During this testing, we also noticed a difference in build quality between the two products, with the Canon spindle breaking during a media load. However, we could still use it. I hope you found this first video useful and look forward to your comments. Keep checking back for more of my competitive videos.